Hey everyone! So today's video is going to be about artist brushes or arts and crafts brushes that you can find at your art store that perform well as makeup brushes, and some perform just as well, if not better, than makeup brushes. And you saw me use quite a bit of them in my last video with the tips and tricks, and I'm just going to give you an overview of what they are, what you can find, and then I'll chat a little bit in the end. I want to start with one that is possibly my favorite because it's one of the brushes that I definitely see done not so well by the makeup industry for a couple of reasons that I'll discuss, but it's the Scrumbler by Artist Loft, and this is what it looks like, and it has really small short bristles, and then it's small, and comparably speaking, here's the most popular blending brush that you guys see me use in my videos. This is an Everyday Minerals one, which I love, and then here's a Sigma one, so based off the MAC blending brush. So I'm going to go, I should have grabbed a wet piece of paper, but we're gonna go like this. What I like this for is that blending brushes, especially in the industry, is they're one size fits all. And if you have a smaller lid space to work with, something like this is gonna put color everywhere. A lot of times I'll see comments where people are like, well, I tried this and it just ended up like when I blended it, everything turned to like a muddy look. All the colors got mixed. The problem with that could possibly be that you're blending with a brush that's too big. Something like this is going to cause that problem. This is even, like, I have a substantial amount of lid space, and this is too big for me. What I do like the Everyday Minerals blending brush for is that it just blends flawlessly. Like the bristles are really soft. They're softer than the Sigma ones or other blending brushes that I've felt. But this allows me to put color only where I need it. So if I'm working above the crease, and I used it in the tutorial that I did for this eye look where I did the contour color, and you can see that I can be really precise with where I put color and how I blend it. Bristles like this will go all over the place and kind of put color where you don't want it to be. This brush also comes in a smaller size and a larger size, so if this is too small or even still too big, you can grab a different size. The fact that the bristles are also shorter makes it easier to control. If I had to pick a con about the Everyday Minerals one, it's that the bristles are so long, so brush control is kind of all over the place. That's not to say that I don't use this. This I use to blend colors together, but for placement, like accurate placement and blending in a specific area, I like the Scrumbler. The next brush is an angle brush, and this one is an obvious one. You have angle brushes in makeup brushes, and then you have angle brushes in artist brushes. Why I prefer the artist brushes is because here's a comparison. This I bought from Coastal Scents in a makeup brush set. I also have a Sigma one, and then I have this one. It has color on it from the tutorial that I just did. One of the more obvious differences is that it's just bigger, like it's longer than the other angle brushes. I've never found the fact that it's longer to like disrupt anything that I've ever tried to create. What's more important for me is that if you turn them like this and you look at the density of the bristles themselves, I don't know, yeah, you can, I don't know if it'll focus. The artist brush that's like $2.99 or maybe even cheaper than that is way thinner than the Sigma one. And if you're working and trying to create little fine lines, like I showed you the bottom lash liner tip where you flick it out in the end, this is gonna create something that's a little too thick. Angle brushes are great for a lot of things. They're great for gel or cream liner on top, for lining lashes on the bottom, for filling eyebrows. So a brush probably you want to have 2 or 3 of, especially because it's affordable. But the smaller, you know, the stroke that it actually creates because of the bristles, the better, because it's easier to start small and to build up rather than have something that creates a thick line and then try to have to fix that or work backwards. The next brushes are what I use for eyeliner brushes. They are American Painter in the shader and the Filbert. The Filbert is rounded on top and the shader is rectangular. I haven't used gel or cream in a really long time, but if I were to do that, this is what I've used. These are easier to work with. Again, they're smaller and they're available smaller and larger than this. You can kind of choose whatever works for you. This is the Sigma one. It's pretty thick. It's very dense. It's dense and it kind of goes to a point, and creating a fine winged line, like a clean one or a thinner one, is difficult to do with this because really, frankly, there's just too many bristles. Much easier to do with something like this where there's just not as many bristles and it's much smaller. I have one that I bought from Bobbi when I first time I ever tried Bobbi Brown gel liner in college. You know, and I was like, oh, I can finally afford a real brush. Well, let me show it to you and then I'll tell you the name. This is the Bobbi Brown. Now let me tell you the name and you tell me true or false. It's called Ultra Fine Eyeliner. Somebody who's naming brushes at Bobbi Brown needs a dictionary, because there's nothing ultra fine about this. It is extremely thick. Even when you look at it like this, it's really thick. It's much thicker than the Sigma one. And you're never gonna get a defined line, let alone an ultra fine line using this kind of brush. This brush, I think when I bought it was like $22 to $25. No. Ultra fine eyeliner for like Hagrid the Giant, not for you and me. The rest of the brushes that I'm gonna talk about are brushes that I've picked up, and it's just truly is just me improvising. This is one that you've seen me use in some of my videos. It's from eyebrows.com. I think with one of my very first orders they sent this to me, and I think it's for filling in the stencils. That's not how I used it. I just ended up using it to add like you know, black to the outer corner of the eye, and I loved it. And then what I did was I went and found something similar, so that instead of telling you guys to go buy it, I don't know if this brush is available on eyebrows.com. At any rate, I wanted something a little more accessible, so I found this, and this is the Artist's Loft Mop. And it's very, very similar. It's just a little more squared off at the tip. This one's a little more rounded. Let me bring it up close. Same density, accomplishes the same exact thing, but now you guys can get it and you don't have to go buy one off of eyebrows.com. So for bottom lashes, you guys saw me use this in the best eye makeup tips and tricks video, and that was this brush. I'm so sorry, I kept calling it a Filbert brush. It's actually a mop brush, and it's by Loew Cornell, the 1/4. This is the guy with the purple handle. Amazing for bottom lash line eyeshadow. If you want to smudge eyeliner, amazing. If you want to diffuse liner, top or bottom lashes, amazing. Traditionally, what I see people use, even professional makeup artists, to apply eyeshadow to the bottom lashes are these pencil brushes, and to me, they just put too much product that's too thick and too messy on the bottom lashes, or the bottom lash line. So these are pretty much what I see people using. So these two, and there's still, even this little one is too many bristles, so it causes a lot of fallout on the bottom lash line. This one is by Sigma, and this is a pencil brush. I see people use this a lot. And this is one by Pout that I got many, many years ago, that's still even too thick to apply eyeshadow. The beauty of this is that it is very thin, so you put color only where you want it, and like I just mentioned, there aren't that many bristles, and having less bristles means having less fallout, and especially if you're working on the bottom lash line. So this is a beautiful brush. It's like everybody needs to have this. The best way to apply eyeshadow on the bottom is to kind of press it in, and then kind of in short strokes just move it to apply color. You don't want to just go in like one fell swoop. It's more accurate if you go a little bit at a time, and get less fallout. So if you're not moving the bristles too much, then product isn't gonna fall out that's like compacted in between the bristles. So I love this. It's amazing. These I still use, but I use them more for work on top of the eyes. This brush has product on it. I just use it to pack on the eyeshadow that I'm wearing. At first blush, it probably looks like a concealer brush. That's the shape. It's very, the bristles are very synthetic feeling, which is good because it means it's not going to absorb oil. I've also found this because I had another brush that I was using to, you know, pack on color, and it was, I got it a long time ago, had no name on it, didn't know how to tell you guys to find it, so I just went to the art store and found something that was, you know, comparable, would do the job well, and this is it. Like I mentioned about the other brushes, if you look this way at the brush, it is very, very thin, so it doesn't have a lot of bristles, therefore it's not going to carry a lot of product, and if, as we're shifting the brush around, product is not going to fall out and create fallout. That sounded really redundant, but one was the process and the other was the name. So this is an amazing brush for packing on eyeshadows, onto pigment, onto Pixie Epoxy, onto anything, and I really like it. And last but not least is a brush that I love for applying highlight, and this is a Loew Cornell Mop Brush in the 3/4 size. Love this. It's dense, so it's going to pack on a lot of highlight, but I like my highlight to be a little more prominent. This was $8.99, but this also comes in a smaller size and a larger size. The smaller one could easily be used to like contour like nose. The larger one could be easily used to contour cheeks. Love this, and I love the way that it applies highlight products. So those are all the brushes that I've come across or discovered or are matched to some, you know, makeup artist brushes. And what I want to say and what I want to finish with are a few things. First and foremost, I discovered artist brushes. They were the first brushes that I ever bought for makeup, because when I started wearing makeup, my parents were like, you want to spend how much on a makeup brush? Like, sit down. So I turned to artist brushes just out of, you know, wanting to be frugal. And that was over 10 years ago. As I've gotten older, I found that even though I can afford, you know, nicer brushes, I go back to the brushes that I originally used because they either do the job better, or there's so much variety that I can find stuff that's not available in like the makeup world that does things, you know, that helps me accomplish the looks that I want to accomplish. I would pay top of the line prices for some of these brushes. The fact that they're so affordable makes it's just a bonus, a big bonus. So I would encourage you, and this is what I would say, if you live in America, you can go to Michaels, and I would definitely go to the Michaels website. I'll put a link to the coupons. This week, there's actually 40% off each item coupon, so as if they're not already cheap, you're gonna be getting brushes for $1 and $2. What I would do is if you're gonna buy more than one brush, just do them in separate transactions so you get 40% off of each brush. And, but if you don't live in America, you can go to an arts and crafts store and just have a look around. Like, let go of everything that you've been conditioned to learn about brushes. You can also say this about makeup, but let go of everything you've learned, and you know, whatever problem you're having, go and try to find a solution. Or if you're just going for fun, go for fun and look at the brushes and see what you can find. I mean, I saw everything. There are fan brushes if you like to apply highlight with a fan brush. Somebody tweeted me and asked me, and there were two that I had recommendations for. One was Simply Simmons. I can't remember the name of the other one, but they were both $3.99 each. I saw even brushes that people are using for contouring these days, where it kind of tapers to a point on the end, but it's a face brush. I saw the square brushes. I've also seen that recently in like makeup that people have been using. I've seen this in like very high-end brush line, and you can find just about anything. Are you gonna find everything? No. You're gonna find a majority of what you need. So there it is. That's the beauty, no pun intended, of using artist brushes to apply makeup. I am in no way saying that I'm the first person that came up with this, but I did want to make this video to show you the brushes that I've discovered and how I use them, because I think everyone has a little bit of a different approach. People have been doing this for years. There's tons of videos on this. Be creative and be imaginative, and share with me how, you know, if there's a brush that you found and you think you like love it for something specific, let me know. I hope that that video helps you guys out, and I hope that it's been really useful. So enjoy shopping for these brushes, and I hope that they make your routine a little bit easier and a little more fun. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.